Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today I've got a pretty cool car for you guys. It's the 1-64 Audi RS6 Avant by SUP Qidian, finished in the very famous pink pig livery. It's a super striking looking station wagon with tons of detail, so let's dive right in. So starting out with the box, you can see we've got a really nice presentation. The car is greatly visible, and then here it just says SUP Qidian, and there as well. And here you can actually see that it says Resin car, and that's because this RS6 is part of SUP Qidian's premium Resin 1-64 lineup. They do these small batch releases with really high levels of detail, and of course this pink pig variant is one of their more eye-catching colorways. However, it is available in a few other cool colors as well. And of course the resin construction means that you get really sharp looking body lines and really delicate parts with these, so it's really a high quality display model rather than any kind of toy. And also that means it drives the price up a little bit, so these are starting off at roughly £50 or so. There's also another very similar looking variant of this car made by JEC, which has a roof box on top, and the wheels have this kind of white lines around them, which looks very cool. But of course today we're concentrating on the SUP Qidian release. So let's start out by removing it from the box, and it's not exactly a difficult maneuver because it just kind of slides straight out, which is actually not too ideal because unfortunately I did end up dropping this car when I bought it, but I will be getting a new case for it shortly, so that doesn't really matter. Very cool RS6 logo in the background, and here is the car in all its glory, and wow, this thing looks absolutely epic. It just looks super crazy with this ridiculously sized body kit. And the livery is something that I'm really fond of, and I've actually reviewed an RWB in 118 as well with the same livery, and link down below for that. But I'm a huge fan of this pink pig, and the contrast of this car looks absolutely ridiculous with all the black elements around the car, and this pink just really highlighting and accentuating the shape of the car. So very epic. And of course this pink pig livery originally appeared on Porsche's 917/20 at the Le Mans in 1971. It showed this really funky looking butcher styled meat cuts marked across this very bright pink body, and of course it quickly became a cult favorite, and since then many brands have paid really cool tributes to it. And here of course it's been adapted to this Audi RS6 Avant, a very modern and playful take on such a cool motorsport icon. So let's actually check the car out in a little bit more detail. And starting out with the base itself, you can see it says SUP Qidian Audi RS6, pretty simplistic, just with this chrome, but it's interesting. It's got this kind of green felt underneath the car, and of course the background in the box also had this kind of green finish. So interesting colors to mix together, and kind of funky to have this almost grass type of texture underneath the car. It's not something that you usually see in these type of models. And now from this closer view we can really appreciate the intricate little details in this car and how aggressive and ridiculous this body kit is on this RS6. Of course this one is inspired by John Olson's RS6 and also DTM style race cars. So you can see all the little intricate details, the winglets, the canards, and all the little fender flares, and this ridiculous front splitter as well. It just shows how much detail we can get with these kind of resin models and how sharp and intricate the details are in this car. And overall it's very low, great stance, and it looks very planted, really perfect for a track day car. And of course let's actually check it out in a little bit more detail. And of course, as usual, we start off with a roof, and you can already see how good the paint quality is on this car. Brilliant looking light lines on the car, and really nice and glossy on the finish. Of course, we've got the aerial finished in black as well as the roof bars. It really gives it a very cool contrast in the top. And then heading into the front windscreen, not too much to say. It's pretty simplistic looking, but really great finish. Even on the little windscreen wipers, you can see they're separate elements. And those are the sort of details that resin models can give you. And pretty great finish on the interior modeling as well. And it's extremely dark in there, but we'll have a proper look in a little bit. And we get to the front bonnet, and of course the livery starts here already. So of course the Ping Pig was divided into all these different cuts of meat in German. And here we already have Hals, and that means neck. And right underneath it we have Rüssel, and that means snout. And in the center here we have this really predominant looking number 9, but as far as I'm aware there was no number 9 used for the original Ping Pig livery on any Porsche or any RS6. So this is more like a model series designation to have it as number 9. And heading into the front mask, we've got a really cool looking RS6 grille. Lots of three-dimensionality and fully blacked out in gloss black. You can even see it's got a little RS6 logo, a really cool number plate as well. And then we've got these very cool looking headlights. They have tons of detail, but as you can see, they've been completely smoked, and that just gives it an extremely sinister look. But you can actually see the DRLs just behind the lights there. So lots of three-dimensionality and a lot of interest. And of course we've got these crazy looking canards here, and there's actually 2 of them. And we've got this huge splitter over here. So it's got this very square sort of shape to it. And we've even got the supports for the splitter. And of course some side intakes, the fog lights, and all the details that you would have in an RS6. And of course we've got this ridiculous looking body kit, because these type of RS6s, especially the C7, are absolute rockets. So this car actually has a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 and about 560 horsepower in standard form, or 605 horsepower in performance trim. And it's capable of doing 0 to 60 miles an hour or 100 kilometers an hour in about 3.7 seconds. So it's a seriously fast family car, and so no wonder that we've got all this ridiculous extra downforce added onto the car. And now we get to this front fender area, and straight away you can see we've got this really wide body kit added on, and it looks kind of organic, to be honest. It's got a very soft approach in the rear and the front as well to the body kit. It's pretty toned down, but gives the car a huge amount of extra width, as you can see. And of course the meat cuts continue. So on this front fender we've got Schulter, which means shoulder, and just underneath that we've got these ridiculous looking split 5-spoke, or I suppose you could say 10 spokes, and they look really cool on this car. Just finished off in this seriously high gloss black. Lots of detail in them. Although there's no center logo or anything like that, it would have been cool to have some kind of an RS logo or something to do with the Ping Pig livery. And of course behind it we've got some really cool looking brakes as well that are even vented. So quite a lot of detail added to this car, and I really like to see that. And just to give you a bit of a closer look, I've quickly removed the car off its base, and I must say this thing is as light as a feather. It weighs almost absolutely nothing, it feels like to be the case for me. And just to show you the wheels a little bit closer now, you can see how much concave the wheels actually have, and what a mean stance it actually gives the car. I really like the depth of these rims. And we can also inspect the tires themselves, and you can see it's got really good tire tread there as well, and a little bit of detail on the bottom as well, with this kind of simplistic looking exhaust system on. And heading back to the side of the car, the livery once again continues. So here we have Wamme, which is a butcher's term used for the belly. Here we have Kotlet or cutlet, or they also use it for schnitzel. And here we've got Schinken, which means ham. And of course, the body kit looks absolutely ridiculous. So we've got the continuation of this front canard and this whole blacked out area, continuing into this front little overhang here, just finished off in black. And then on the door itself we've got 2 canards as well, which is seriously unusual and gives the car an absolutely insane look. So that's just really crazy, just for that added bit of downforce. And then continuing to the rear, we've got another little winglet over here, which is also finished off like a kind of canard. just to shape the airflow around the wheel arches, and then even more canards in the rear over here. So this thing is just absolutely ridiculous. How many canards are on this car? There's like at least 8 of them. It's just absolutely insane. And of course, really great detail, as you would expect from a resin model, around the doors, the shut lines and the door handles, and even the mirrors are finished off in the mirror finish as well. Although it's got a little bit like tiny looking mirrors inserted, which is kind of strange. It's got almost a different shape to what the mirrors are, so that's pretty weird, but anyways. And then of course we've got this really typical and beautiful Audi Avant long swooping DLO finished off in black. So the windows are pretty tinted on this car with a blacked out B pillar, C pillar as well, and the window surround too. So it gives it a really cool looking continuous flow all the way along the car as well. So a really cool and sporty vibe that it actually gives the car. Really awesome. And of course the rear wheels are pretty much the same as the fronts, and they don't spin at all. So because it's a resin model, they're pretty much just locked in place. So now heading to the rear, you can see once again this kind of piano black continues onto the rear diffuser, and we've got a seriously mean looking diffuser over here. And it almost looks like a DTM inspired rear end. And you can see we've got these really cool looking oval exhaust, typical of the RS6, and tons of 3-dimensionality and depth of detail in this crazy oversized diffuser. And from this angle you can even see we've got some extra air outlets over here with this winglet. So it's got a really cool geometric shape to this winglet. I really like that. And we've even got a bit of 3-dimensionality behind it. So super awesome finish. And of course the livery continues on the rear with these little cut separations. And here it says Ripple, and I think that means rib as far as I'm aware, although I think it might be misspelled over here. The real car had Hexen and Schwanz on the rear as well, so this car has Ripple though. And of course once again we've got the number plate, and actually it says an S here which stands for Scotland, and strangely enough the lettering does not look like UK style letters, it looks more European. So that's another little interesting random thing to note on the car. And of course the 4 rings of the Audi logo finished off in this chrome finish. Although it looks very cool, they might have done it maybe in a black just to kind of suit the rest of the car, but actually I do like the differentiation of the chrome against this pink. And now of course we come to these very cool and typical style Avant RS6 tail lights. So quite a lot of depth, but it almost looks like it's been smoked. It's got a very interesting looking finish and almost like a hazed up style look, but it looks pretty cool and pretty sinister on this car as well. But maybe if they smoked it, it would have looked even meaner like they did on the front. But it does look very awesome. And then here we've got a little bit of detail with this little spoiler or winglet on the rear here as well, just finished off once again in this piano black, and even a separate little rear windscreen wiper too, and a bit of overhang on this little rear wing over here just at the top of the boot line. And of course it's got even a third brake light underneath there, so really great attention to detail. And of course this side is pretty much identical to the other side, with the differentiation that it's got the little fuel filler cap over there. And I shall try to see if we can see anything on the interior. However, it seems to be extremely dark in there. But let me see what I can do. And wow, it's actually got quite a bit of interesting things on the interior. You can see the center blower, and it looks to even have the divider between the 2 seats folded down and opened, and quite a lot of details on the interior. Center console with a gear shift as well, and even the proper style Audi seats, this kind of bucket seats in there. I can't really see if it says RS on the headrests or anything like that, but really great details there. And now from the other side we can see a little bit more detail, and here you can see we've got the steering wheel as well, but it's very tough to actually look in here with these kind of tinted windows. But you can see that the rear definitely has great modeling as well, so very cool. and a really awesome looking car. And now on the turntable here, you can see what a cool overall look this car has. I think it's got a lot of character, and I am a huge fan of Audi Avants anyway, especially the RS series, and this is one of my favorite liveries as well. And with this crazy looking body kit, it just absolutely checks all the boxes. I think they've done an excellent job in representing this car, and I think it's a really epic model to have among your collection, whether you like Audis or RS cars or famous race liveries. Then this is a really awesome and unique one to add to any collection. I'm really happy with this one, and I think it's an epic one. And so that was the SUPqidian RS6 in the Pink Pig livery. Of course, if you're a fan of this livery, there are other options available, such as this insane looking Star Models RWB Porsche. I'll be reviewing this one in the future as well. And also, please don't forget to check out the 118 variant, which looks like this, and this one is made by Solido. So I've already reviewed this car, and link will be down below. And thank you everybody for watching. If you guys have enjoyed this one, please press like and subscribe to the channel for more 164 and 118 car unboxing and review videos. Take it easy guys, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.